He's doing exactly what I wanted him to do.
Flag used to hang there.
This was the flag Jennifer Piggott proudly hung outside her home during campaign 2024.
We had the flag. I had the shirt. I was a MAGA junkie.
Hey y'all, so before we really get into this clip, there is a new term going around called MAGA Junkie for folks that are now regretting their vote, even though they were going really hard for Trump during his campaign and are now, well, FAFOing.
A MAGA junkie who thought her government job would be safe with Donald Trump in office. She was wrong.
I cried. It's scary, you know, it's a really scary thing, and I was embarrassed. He's a good boy.
Piggott was abruptly fired last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service, based here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. The reason given for the firings of 125 probationary employees at the Bureau? Poor performance.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review.
So y'all know I have to put on my HR hat for a second. And I want to point out that she has documentation that said she has great performance. Meanwhile, the reason that they gave in terminating her is poor performance. And this is why it's so important to, one, always keep documentation and ask for documentation about your work performance. And two, if you are being terminated or if they're calling it a layoff or reduction in force, right? All these different terms to say that your work is ending. Well, you should always be asking why if a reason is not given to you, because there may be a cause that is illegal, right? If they are saying one thing and you have documentation proving another thing, well, in normal circumstances, you may have a case that you would be able to fight for.
Less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do. To cut the knees out of the working class Americans just doesn't make sense to me. I expected more from President Donald Trump.
Since speaking out, Piggott says she's received death threats and her home has been egged. This woman asked us not to show her face for fear of retribution. She recently retired from the Bureau of Fiscal Service because she was afraid of losing her health insurance if she was fired. She also voted for Trump.
Would you still have supported him?
I'm not sure that I would have. The way that it's been done, I'm for balancing the budget, that type of thing, but not in this context. It's just not right.
So while the First Lady is 100% sure that she regrets her vote, the second woman is not saying that quite. She is seems to be in a place of confusion, really unsure about things, and I would question both of them if I could on what were the actual items that caused you to vote for current President Donald Trump, because, you know, the first woman seems to have clarity. That second one, it was really interesting that she still wouldn't say that she in fact regrets her vote. And there are plenty of people who do not regret their vote at all, even though they are actually experiencing some of the consequences of the actions of the president.
Earlier this month, a federal judge ordered half a dozen federal agencies to immediately offer thousands of probationary employees their jobs back. But this week, the Trump administration asked the Supreme Court to put that judge's ruling on hold and stop those employees from returning to work. Eric Engel is a representative for the National Treasury Employees Union.
They are fully reinstated, all 125 of them. They are on paid admin leave.
Now they're getting paid for not doing their job. So did the government really save any money here?
Not at all. No. That's not. I personally don't believe that was ever the point, but they're not saving any money from these probationary and trial period employee firings. This has nothing to do with eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse.
The Bureau of Fiscal Service employs more than 2,000 people here in Parkersburg. People we spoke with told us it's considered the place to work. Jobs at the Bureau are hard to come by, and people have always believed it was one of the most stable employers. Rhonda Bragg is another probationary employee who was fired from the Bureau. She didn't vote for Trump because she feared something like this might happen.
A lot of people who voted for Donald Trump lost their jobs now. What do you think about that? What do you want to say to them?
You know, at first I wanted to say, when all this happens, you deserved it. At the same time, they're in the same spot that I am. And I honestly don't think any of us deserved it. It's not even $50,000 a year. You know, it's not that much money. I'm blue collar just like the rest of them in this valley.
In a statement regarding the reinstated employees, a spokesperson for the Treasury Department told us they are weighing how best to consider their performance, Treasury's operational needs, and the Trump administration's government-wide effort to increase efficiency.
Come here, baby.
That's hardly any consolation to Jennifer Piggott and her family.
If you could say anything to President Trump now, what would you say?
I expected better from you. I really did. I expected that you would do what was right and cut waste and fraud and all of those things that you promised us before we elected you in office, but you're not doing that. You're creating a disaster, and I don't know what America's going to look like if this continues.
Not a single person who voted for Donald Trump regrets it. The left has nothing left but lies.
Are you sure about that?
Riley, do you now regret the way you voted for Trump?
I do feel regret, and I've had a lot of tumultuous thoughts about that day.
She was a single issue voter. She voted for Trump because of her infertility issues, and now she's having regrets. I wonder if anyone else has regrets. This family is regretting their choice for voting for Trump because they voted for him, but now their farm is in trouble. And this Trump voter also regrets their vote. So does this one. Now, sure, there are people that don't regret their vote for Trump, like this guy whose wife got deported by ICE. And even though he didn't think that it would happen to him, he still doesn't regret his vote for Trump. And honestly, that's probably the most shocking case of them all. Because when you vote for Trump because of immigration, and then your own wife gets deported due to her immigration status, and you still support the man responsible for doing so, now that is some serious cult-type dedication.
Now, you heard her refer to MAGA as a cult, and I do believe that is why this term is becoming popular, MAGA junkie, as a way to avoid people basically admitting that they have been a part of a cult in a way, because if they've been on this high this entire time without being able to think about what they're actually doing, well, they're not thinking logically. They're just kind of going with the flow of this group. If you don't want to call it a cult, you can just call it groupthink, I suppose. But check out these next videos, because what this girl is saying is true, that there are still many people, as you can see in the girl dancing to the left in this video, there's people that are ecstatic about what's happening, exactly what they wanted is occurring, whether they are directly impacted or not. And a lot of people that are not directly impacted are as happy as can be.
I don't feel that way, and I have no remorse for voting the way I did, because he's doing exactly what I wanted him to do.
No, ma'am. Not even a smidget of an ounce of regret. Now, with that being said, it looks like you still haven't learned yet.
So I include those clips just to highlight the people that are still hands down supporting Trump 100%. Yet there is a specific group that is being hit differently through all of this, and it is our veterans. Check out this video.
I want to hear another Red Hatter say that they support veterans.
I don't want to hear another thank you for your fucking service. I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it. You fuckers took my mental health care. The one thing that keeps me from killing people, from losing my goddamn mind. You took my goddamn peace of mind. You fuckers.
They fired his doctor, so they didn't tell us. Just waited until it was his appointment time, and then she never showed up. And then he called to find out where she was. And she said she got fired. And this was his medication re-up.
So that last clip was definitely one of the most difficult to listen to, and there are some people reacting online, but overall you are seeing a lot of people crashing out online and making it known their votes, whether they regret their votes or if they're doubling down and saying they're happy with how they voted, or if they did not vote for any of this, yet they're being impacted and they're coming online to share exactly how they are being impacted. And some people are very upset, like what you saw in that last clip. Some are online crying. There was an older woman who was in a video that I was hesitant on sharing, but that was probably the toughest to listen to, but you can see it here on screen. But let me know what y'all think about this situation. Are you impacted? Do you know people that are being impacted, especially by these federal cuts? And what do you think will happen in the near future? Do you have hope? Are you shifting your plans based on what's happening, just in these past couple of months? And with that, I am going to close out the video. I will talk to y'all later.
Kamala Harris or Donald Trump?
It's got to be Kamala.
Why Kamala?
Because she can think and breathe, and Trump can't.
What makes you think that?
Have you seen Trump? Have you looked at his behavior? Do you know his record as a businessman, as a politician, as a crook, as a thief, as a rapist?
Name any accomplishments of Kamala Harris.
Yeah, she's a black woman of mixed race.
What do you think about the Border Patrol? 18 million illegal immigrants.
I think you're not going to stop it.
Whose policy do you support more about Border Patrol?
Neither one of them have it. Neither one of them have it.
You don't think that Trump was keeping...
You just want to lock them up like Trump does? Put them all,
no.
Put them all in
deportation.
A warehouse and send them back?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you think that's feasible? Even
well, you don't know their identifications. Maybe they're criminal. Maybe